Dr. Gift Wallo is here with us in the studio. He's chairman of Obiakpo Local Government Area. Good morning. Thank you for coming on today.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Yeah. Alive and kicking. So, I mean, sometimes you just wonder, when is it ever possible or is it ever appropriate to ask, is all well now in Rivers politics? Because in politics, you can never tell. You know, now you see them, now you don't. Now you think everything is okay. Tomorrow something happens, and because interests are always crisscrossing. But at least you can give us an insight. What do you think about the political climate now? Do you think everything is settled down and things will go probably smoothly within, particularly, the Rivers State governor and his predecessor?
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. I must say that I'm happy. Things are going well with me, and with so many Rivers people.
Okay.
What we had before, that situation where every morning, from Arise TV to channels to all the other stations, what you had was Rivers crisis. I think that's no longer the narrative today.
Well, now,
yeah, it's no longer the narrative. And I can tell you that Rivers State is more than those things that try to define us. As a people, we have our issues, just like every other state. Before now, I was watching what people were saying about Ondo State. You know, Lagos State have their issues. Imo State, they have their issues and all of that. But what I can tell you is that peace has returned to Rivers State. And it's sustainable peace that we have. You know, the problem that some people have is the way they react or respond to the things that happen to them in life. As a person, there is nothing that is happening in Rivers State that has taken me by surprise or shaking my foundation. No.
Yeah, because I mean, you're from there.
Yes,
I'm
from
chairman,
there.
understand
I'm
politics.
from there. Yes, and I understand. I know that there are certain conditions that have precipitated those issues. And I know that human beings have the capacity to also change those conditions and move a system from where it is to where they want it to be. Rivers State is not about the governor and his predecessor. Sometimes I find it even ridiculous when people talk about the governor and his predecessor. We have a governor in Rivers State whose responsibility it is to ensure that there is peace, prosperity, and progress in Rivers State. In the past, I had spoken about the fact that there was poor handling of affairs. Because in politics, you must find a way to address the many interests. Politics is about interest. Politics is about people coming together, wanting to get power so that they can decide what happens in terms of the resources of the state, in terms of what policies and programs they are going to pursue, and who gets what generally. Yeah, so if you're not able to make people, give people that confidence that their interests will be met, you're likely to have issues.
So I listened to a conversation yesterday among certain business people. They were thinking about investments in Rivers State, and they thought they were not exactly too sure because of the narratives. So the impression they have is like it would be a risky thing to go in there for investments. So if you are finding it ridiculous, people are talking about that kind of thing. So who knows which other political leadership may find it ridiculous. But it's a serious matter because it may, if not already, affecting perhaps capacity or people bringing in businesses to the state because they feel, look, if who knows what might happen again, it might affect their business.
Well, you know, the way the entrepreneur processes situations is not the way you as a journalist or somebody who's not an entrepreneur will look at it. I can tell you because I come from a background of entrepreneurship, at least theoretically. And I can say that when you have a chaotic situation, that's the best situation for the entrepreneur. Honestly speaking. Yes, because
yes, indeed, there is the economy of chaos.
Yes, see what is happening between the U.S., Israel, and this thing. A lot of people have cashed out within this one.
They went to Iran to go and invest there.
No, they may not have gone to Iraq, but that situation, has provided opportunity for them to make money.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, because
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is
they see beyond what you and I are seeing.
I understand what you're saying about that,
and they take certain actions that you and I will not take because we're not seeing what they are seeing.
I'm just giving you feedback of the impression they feel setting up physical assets at that point in time.
Let me tell you,
they thought no.
As an entrepreneur, I would tell those people if they are listening, this is the best time to invest in River State. This is the best time. Because if you want to buy land, for example, in River State today, it's cheap. It's cheap. So if you buy it now and keep it over time, you'll be smiling to your bank.
You say, and keep it for when?
Huh?
Keep it for when there is peace, right? I imagine when you feel more certain that the environment is right.
There is no absolute peace anywhere. There's no place where you have absolute peace.
Yes, but people.
So relatively, and there's one thing about reality, and then another one about perception. What we have sometimes when we talk about peace or no peace is perception. The perception index of crisis and all of that in River State is high, negatively so against us. But it doesn't mean that more people die in River State than they die in Lagos and maybe any other state in Nigeria. That's the truth. It doesn't mean that people don't make money in River State. As far as I'm concerned, if you look at the wealth of the nation and how it is distributed among the states of Nigeria, after Lagos State comes River State. Right?
There'll be questions.
And when you talk about the happiness of the people, I can tell you that Rivers people are some of the happiest people you can find, even in the midst of the crisis. You call them out this morning, you see them jumping up and down, singing and dancing and all of that. That's who we are. And then when we are done, we go eat our bowl and fish. And eat the fisherman soup and all those things.
Honorable, I'm sure you certainly would know that a lot of people will certainly prefer peace, political peace, and even general peace as an atmosphere for doing business and because it provides certainty.
No, but I've told you that.
But that's not the issue I want to take you. I just want
today versus where we are.
Yeah, also people want to know whether it's peace of the graveyard or whether it's just
no, it's real peace.
It's real peace.
And recently,
if you say so,
something happened during the week during the screening of.
I was just about to go to the screening of Commission.
Yes, and people tried to make a fuss out of it, and I'm like, why?
Okay, go ahead.
Why would you think that?
What incident are you referring to?
The screening.
Yes.
That has been described one way or the other. Some people say it was rigorous. Some people say it was some kind of payback time for some people and all of that. And I'm like, no. Why should we look at it like that? Because it's River State. I watched the screening of the secretaries in America. Especially, a particular reference is the screening of Hexed, who is the Secretary of Defense in America. The day he was screened, I asked myself, so is this what screening is supposed to really look like? And why are we not doing so in Nigeria?
Okay. I think you have now answered the reason.
Now we have a culture.
If I may just come in here, because you were wondering why people were seeing to the screening, describing it as harsh. And you say you were referencing it with what you see on a national scale in the United States of America. And you say that that's exactly what we should be doing. But you're saying, why are we not doing that here in Nigeria?
Yes.
And maybe it was based on that.
And then we did it in River State. River State.
Let me land on my question now. You wouldn't even let me land.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so you saw that and you knew that, and they said that it does appear that this is just too much. It would seem in terms of the screening for the commissioners to be, or the commissioners designate in River State. And you are saying that that's how it ought to be.
Yeah, sure.
Is that correct?
Yes.
In the process, though, some people will say that first there were questions as to the quality of the people. If there was
You mean of the nominees?
Of the nominees.
Yeah.
I mean, from what we could see, given, somebody coming out to say, I don't have tax clearance, I've not worked in how many years. And people were wondering, why would you nominate somebody who hasn't worked in a while, who is not paying tax, or, you know, something. There'll be questions in that regard in terms of the quality. But then we also know that across the country, very rarely do you see commissioners going through that level of screening, because usually there is some arrangement. This is not to say that this is right. This is not to say that this is something that we should encourage, but this is something that we have seen over and over again within, let's say, amongst the political elite at the state level. At the national level is a different kettle of fish, but at the state level it would seem that there is already some sort of consensus, especially when the Speaker and the members of the House of Representatives and the governors are from the same party, which we didn't quite see play out in Rivers State. Okay, but do you want to speak to that first before we now come to the quality of the commissioners designate?
I've been screened by the Rivers State House of Assembly at least 3 times. 2 times as caretaker, chairman of council, and then as commissioner. When I went in for commissionership screening, I could say that I was drilled. And when I answered the questions put to me and finished, one of the House members sought the leave of the Speaker, this same Speaker, now Martin Samegule, to allow me continue to talk to them. Because according to him, they were learning a few things from what I was saying. And you talked about the quality of the people who went there. If you don't have quality and you go there and display it, and you expect that the House should pass you because we have a culture of mass promotion in Nigeria, that will not be correct. Another thing that happened, which people need to understand, is that it was televised. If it wasn't televised, we probably wouldn't be saying this because we wouldn't know what transpired.
Was that intentional as well? Because
I wouldn't
really see that.
I wouldn't know. You know, when you have a I think it's the Igbos that have this saying that if you are surrounded by enemies, you have to guard yourself. Now,
so the House members were guarding themselves?
Yes.
So who was their enemy?
The people who will criticize them if they didn't do it in the open. You want transparency from them, right? And that's what they have given to you. They were trying to be as transparent as possible. And that is why people like you are able to conclude that the quality of the people who came was not... Because here is the issue. You were asked to come with certain documents, including tax clearance. You were asked to come with certain documents, including tax clearance. Now you appear there without tax clearance. They look through the papers, they don't find the tax clearance paper. They now ask,
them don't pay tax.
And then I don't know about that. It's the person who came and said that she doesn't pay tax that you should be worried about. Yeah. I went for screening for this office that I occupy now. I went through screening. I presented my documents, including tax clearance. And I was cleared. If I didn't have it, I won't be cleared.
Dr. Walu, you know as well as we do that that was intentionally done because there was a lack of agreement at the political level. Just a moment. At the political level in terms of the consensus on the candidate.
People were cleared. 9 persons presented, 4 failed. 9 passed.
Yeah, it could be part of
that was a high attrition
rate. It's not about script. I don't want us. You see, you are the one.
You don't think that was a high attrition rate?
You are the one imputing that.
I'm asking you.
I can tell you.
Have you seen? Has it ever happened? You said you were screened. Yes. You were rigorously screened. That was what you said. Yes. Has it ever happened and you can tell us? I'm just asking. In Rivers State, that all the commissioners in your set and maybe set after you served, they were presented and they did not pass.
That high turnover.
And that's high turnover.
Well, I can't say that I have seen that happen before. Maybe it has, but I don't have that information. But the point here is that I've seen it happen even in Nigeria before.
In Nigeria,
yes, I've seen it happen at the national level before.
It's your state we're speaking of.
The point is this: if you want the Rivers State House Assembly to do the right thing, which is what they did, as far as I'm concerned, if you want them to do the right thing to move the state forward, so that we don't bring mediocres into government, so that we don't bring people who don't have what it takes. You know, when you are asked a question about your tax clearance, and you say you're a politician, and you don't have tax clearance, and you say you have not earned income since 2018, thereabout, and it was put to you that you served in caretaker committee last year, 2025. Did you not earn salary during that period? And you can't remember whether you earn salary or not. Such questionable behavior should not be allowed in government. If we are serious with ourselves, if we want to move this country forward, if we want to move our state forward, we should bring in people who will at least, if I had gone there and I didn't have tax clearance, I will quickly admit that maybe I've tried to see whether I can get tax clearance. I couldn't get. This is my situation. You decide.
In other words, in order to give the state a good image, there should be talks in the state that that person should be investigated. Why have you not been paying tax if you've been earning?
Seriously, the authorities should find out. They should find out. Maybe she has paid, but she doesn't have the certificate. You know, it's a different ballgame. You could be paying taxes, but you have not gone for the certificate.
So maybe the rift between the executive and legislature is good. At least we get them to do their job.
So long may that continue.
Exactly, but the truth is, it doesn't appear on the surface that all is particularly settled with the political
All is well, and I think that Rivers State is moving in the right direction. We have screened people, we have passed those who are qualified. The governor is at liberty to send in more names. And in doing so, he will be guided by this last experience to send in people that will at least pass. Because if you don't pass, it's like you seek admission into a university and they ask you for your WAEC papers and you don't have.
We didn't write an exam.
You say we should allow you to go in. That way you have confidence that when you go there you perform. How will we know that you perform?
Have we not heard of governors who they said did not do well and their godfather said they should be allowed to repeat? Exactly. When a child doesn't do well, how much we heard that before in this country?
And when he repeated, what happened? Did he perform?
But at least
that's why I talked to you before.
They allow their anomaly.
There is a culture of mass promotion in Nigeria. That is why, when I wrote WAEC years back, during WAEC period,
were you mass promoted?
During WAEC period, you will know who is writing WAEC in your neighborhood from who is not. Because those who are writing WAEC, they will lose weight, they will be out of circulation for some time and all of that. And after the result is released, you will see those who are smiling from those who are frowning. But these days, people just go in from primary school, they don't fail. They have never seen failure before. Because of mass promotion. I've argued against this. In our schools, some of the private schools that we send our children to, because the schools want people to be in their school, they just concoct the results and give to students. These students don't know what failure looks like.
All right. We understand that...
So now we are learning the hard way. People should know that if you want to be in government, any position in government, you have to be prepared.
Well, we understand.
And we are not going to see ordinarily.
You're planning an investment summit.
Yes, I'll come to that. People should not.
We're out of time.
People should not be assessed based on their past performance. They assess you on your aptitude for the next job that you want to do.
Well, I hope politicians will follow that script.
Yes, that's what it should be.
Because tomorrow, if they're all on the same page, we will not even hear that anybody failed. They'll just move on. So this is summit that you want to do in Obiakbo.
Yes.
How come it's not statewide? I mean, are you thinking about, should you have extended it to government? Say, let's bring investors to the states. You thinking about, should you have extended it to government? Say, let's bring investors to the states and not just to Obiakpo local government area.
Well, maybe I think the state have their own plans. And maybe through what is happening in Obiakpo, the state might just see reason to do something bigger. I'm acting based on the limits of my power. I'm only chairman of Obiakpo. I'm not governor of Rivers State. I'm not governor of Obiakpo even. I'm just chairman. Now, and I think that it's not a summit, it's a forum. You know, we call it Obiakpo Business and Economic Forum. And it's something that will be happening every quarter. We had a summit last year. Now, this forum is based on what I call the triple helix approach to governance, where we are bringing under one roof people in the academia, people in politics and policy making, and then businesses. And just about anybody, including the media and other people, security people, who work and reside in Obiakpo. If you know Obiakpo very well, Obiakpo is like, it's like Rivers State, if you ask me. It's like River State, because every Rivers person somehow finds himself in Obiakpo doing one thing or the other. Now, that's where you have the University of Port Harcourt, that's where you have Ignatius University, that's where you have the Electoral Technique and River State University. That's where you have headquarters in River State, that's where you have the highest in the state, and all of that. And I felt that the time has come for us as a people to begin to sit and discuss our problems, so that the businessman can benefit from what the politician is doing and understand it, and vice versa. So that the man in the university, what they are doing can rub off on what we are doing in governance and politics, and also rub off on business. And that is because I realized that in more civilized crimes, this is what people do, and they achieve the results that you see, and you think that they have two heads and we have one. No.
All right.
Because we say that two good heads are better than one, and I'm only trying to create that ecosystem in which people can sit together and discuss their issues, find solutions, solve the problems, and move on as one community.
Well, Uncle, at that point, we wish you all the best, and hoping that the state policies will not impact negatively upon those investments, because largely, I mean, the state has a role to play.
But
Chairman of the River State. Chairman, we're out of time.
We'll do that next time when we want to expand on
we're working together at the state and
that's why we're wishing you all the best to ensure that at least we'd like to see local governments across the country step up, because they need to run local governments as business, not just having political heads and leadership. That way they can have a lot more benefit than you imagine. Well, back in a moment anyway. Join us again.